We're going to start on the mat, but let's get onto the mat without using our arms if at all possible. And then roll yourself back one vertebra at a time. And get yourself into the relaxation position. So we're just going to spend a moment to get our alignment, our focus thinking about our alignment, get our breathing opened up, release any tension in the body. So we start each exercise session with a relaxed body and a relaxed state of mind. So the feet and the knees hip width apart, and the placement of the feet such that you don't have more weight going through your heel. So the foot feels just really flat and really light on the mat. No tension in the thighs. Buttocks switched off. The only thing that's switched on, and very, very gently, is the pelvic floor and the lower abdominal. Just enough to know it's there. Nice long spine and open between the shoulder blades at the back, but also open across the front of the chest and the shoulders. Just check that your rib cage isn't sticking up at all. So just drop your rib cage into you to have awareness of the back and the base of the rib cage just gently connected into the mat. Shoulders away from your ears. Your arms nice and long, but without any tension in your hands or your fingers. Neck lengthening away from the shoulders. And release any tension in your face. So just do a little bit of chin, jaw wiggling and release the tongue inside your mouth and just settle it so that there's no tension there whatsoever. And a couple of nice deep breaths in and out, breathing in through your nose and softly out through your mouth without creating any tension. So keep the shoulders relaxed. And just get your rib cage to expand out to the side as you breathe in and come back together as you breathe out. Once more. So keeping this same focus and release of tension, we'll start with piriformis stretches. So bring your right foot to the outside of your left thigh, take hold of your right knee and draw up across the body to your left shoulder. We started with our Monday class yesterday, but actually it's quite nice doing it 2 days in a row because you get really good benefit from it. So you're drawing your right knee diagonally across the body, up across the body. Make sure your left knee doesn't drop into your midline, so you keep that left knee out in line with the left hip. To increase the stretch, you bring your right foot further up the outside of the left thigh. But it really needs to be on the outside, not just the top of the thigh. And you should get a nice stretch into this right buttock, right glute area. And we'll just relax and breathe into this. We want to hold these stretches for approximately half a minute, and then your muscles get that message just to release. So now the second one in this series, keep your right hand on your right knee, bring your left leg up, and then your left hand can reach your right foot. So your one hand on your right foot, one hand on your right knee, and you're using your hands and your left thigh to draw your right leg up towards your chest. And let's do some ankle circles on the left ankle here. No movement at the knee, just isolate the movement at the ankle, go in both directions, but keep pulling that right foot towards your chest. And you can do some toes squeeze and then spread as well, just isolating just the toes without any movement at the ankle. Couple more. Good, and now still your left foot so we can focus on this next stretch. Keep pulling your left foot towards you, but keep putting your right foot towards you, but push the right knee away from you. Keep using your left leg so that the right leg is up towards your chest as much as possible, and let's breathe and relax into this for quite a few breaths. As it releases at one point, you can push that knee away a touch more. But make sure that you're not tensing anywhere. And now drop your left foot back on the mat, release your right foot back in line with the right hip. So now take your left foot to the outside of your right thigh. Take hold of your left knee and draw up across the body, diagonally across the body, to your right shoulder. Getting a nice stretch in the left buttock, up into the left hip even. Make sure the right knee stays out, or is almost pressing on the outside of your left ankle. Keep drawing your left knee up across towards your right shoulder, right ear. Keep relaxing into this. Keep your breathing nice and soft and regular. Keeping hold of your left knee, bring your right leg up and reach your left foot as well. So one hand on the left foot, one hand on the left knee, drawing your left leg towards your upper body using both your hands and your right thigh. And let's do some ankle circles on the right ankle. Go in both directions and do some toe scrunches and release whenever you want. Isolating the movement either at the ankle or the toes. Keep pulling your left leg further up a little bit as it releases at a particular point. So still your right foot, and let's focus on this third stretch on the left side. Keep pulling your left foot but pushing the left knee. Keep using your right thigh so that the leg doesn't get pushed away. You've just got a pull and a push kind of stretch. And then just breathe and relax into this. Using your breath and visualizing it into any area of tension is a really good way of letting that tension just let go. And now drop your right foot back on the mat, but keep your left leg up and hug your left knee into you. It'll go in now in line with the left shoulder. And lengthen your right leg away. You're not letting your pelvis come out of neutral, so keep that back in neutral, but really stretch your right leg away, point the foot, and really hug your left knee into you. You're trying to get, it's not a strong stretch, but just a gentle stretch at the top of the right thigh, going into the right groin and right front of the right hip. And now bring your right foot back, drop your left foot onto the mat, bring your right knee up into your chest in line with the right shoulder and lengthen the left leg away without arching the back. So stretch your left leg, pointing the left foot, hugging the right knee in. Stretching, stretching, and then bring your left foot back, your foot flat on the mat, and drop your right foot back on the mat. So back to feet and knees hip width apart, and we'll do some shoulder and arm exercises to loosen up the upper body. We're going to start with helicopter arms. So start with your arms above your chest, your palms facing your feet. And now I'm going to take my left arm above my head and my right arm down by my hip. Now don't arch your back, so make sure the rib cage stays connected in. And now I'm going to circle my arms in opposite directions as near to the floor as my shoulder socket will allow. And now my left arm is by my left hip and my right arm is by my right ear. And then both arms come back above my chest. And now I'm going to take my right arm above my head, my left arm by my hip, circle my arms around. So going literally in 180 degrees to each other until my left arm is by my ear and my right arm by the hip, then back above my chest. And now my left arm behind, my right arm down by the hip. So we're going to keep doing these circles, going as near to the floor and coming as near to your ear as you can when your arm comes above your head, and then bringing them back above the chest, and then you alternate the arm that goes behind the head to begin with, keeping the arms at 180 degrees to each other. So it's meant to help the brain as well as the shoulder socket. That's always a good idea. I'll keep going. Again, making sure that the rib cage stays on the mat. Bringing the arm as near to your ear as possible and right into the lowest part of your hip. So it's not sort of halfway up your thigh. Right in as low to the mat as you can manage. So we'll do one more in each direction, one more with the left arm starting above the head, and then once with the right arm starting above the head. So nothing in the body is changing. You're isolating the arms, hopefully getting a little bit more movement in that arm socket each time. Then bring your arms back above your chest. Let's keep your arms above the chest. We'll do the windows. So just bend your elbows and stretch your elbows away from you, coming onto the floor or the mat. So this first time, just glance either side that your forearm is perpendicular to your elbow. Your upper arms are in line with your shoulders and your palms are still facing your feet. So they haven't come into the midline. They're still hands directly above the elbow. And then without arching your back and keeping your elbows as near to the floor, again, as your shoulder socket allows, rotate your arms so the back of your forearm is to the floor. Straighten your arms above your head near your ears and back above your chest. So stretching the elbows away from each other. If you haven't done this exercise before, and it's a little bit confusing, there are tutorials that you can look up after the class to really understand this exercise. It's quite a gentle stretch when you're just on the mat. You get more of a stretch if you're on something like a bolster or a core roller, but you can still get a nice stretch. It's a very gentle way of opening up the pectoral muscles. And you often find that you've got one arm that can work better than the other, so it shows up slight areas of tightness. And if you are particularly tight at one particular point of this exercise, then you can just hold that there and breathe into there. So it's a nice exercise to do on its own if you do have shoulder problems. If you've ever had any breast surgery, sometimes you feel very tight, and this is a nice way of loosening it up. Let's do one more here. Stretching above my head, and now up above my chest, and then all the way down by my side. Okay, so that's a nice little opener, get our bodies loosened up a little bit more. So now let's start working our abdominals, and we're going to do the single leg stretch. So using your core, come into a double knee fold, keeping the knees in line with the hips. Put your hands either side of your left knee. Remember, this is the one where you imagine when you extend your leg, you're pushing a child on a swing. So have that sense of elasticity and stretch. So take a breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, curl yourself up, hug your left knee in and extend your right leg. Breathe in, draw your right leg in, breathe out, extend the left. Keep your body in the center, breathe in, draw the left leg in, swap hands, breathe out, extend the right. Really stretching that leg. Breathing in, swapping legs, breathing out. Stay curled up to the tips of the shoulder blades. Don't dip back down. Make sure the legs stay in line with the body. So as you extend the leg, it's in line with the hip. As you hug the knee in, the foot doesn't come into the midline. Breathing out to extend the leg, breathing in to draw it in. Make it on 2 breaths. Don't just swap over halfway across. So you always come back to the starting position. Let's do one more on each side. Keep using those abdominals. Let the neck be nice and relaxed. Last one on the left. And then bring that left knee in. Now curl yourself back down and hug your knees into your chest. Good. And now keep your knees up for the moment. Now, last week we did our core challenge without the ball, and we're still going to do that this week. So just to demonstrate how you don't necessarily need the ball, we're going to do the double leg stretch, legs only. So we're not going to do the curl up. So you've got your knees in line with your shoulders and your feet together. And let's start, keep those feet together. Start by lengthening the legs reasonably high. Now the idea is you've got to work from this core. So put your fingers on this lower transverse abdominal muscle and you can feel it really working. As the knees come in, you feel it relaxing. Breathe out, pull that muscle in so the pelvis doesn't shift. Extend the legs high. Now you can start to extend them a little bit lower, but again the pelvis does not come out of neutral. You should feel this muscle really working hard. Breathing out to extend. Breathing in to draw it in. So you can go as high as you like. If you find that you're slightly arching your back with your legs lower, but if you can take your legs lower, pull in, draw. Use this core muscle to draw those legs back in. So you use the core to stop the pelvis coming out of neutral, but you use this core muscle to pull the legs back in. Let's do 3 more. If you find that you're starting to hurt a little bit in the lower back, take your legs high. Not so much as a millimetre of movement in your pelvis. Last one. So you can change the position each time and then hug your knees into your chest. And now come out of your double knee fold. And we're going to come to sitting. So extend one leg and then the other leg. Put your hands on your thighs. Roll yourself up. Sit right on your sit bones and then get a nice stretch over your legs. Breathing into your back here, just for a couple of breaths. Keep straight behind your knee. And then walk your hands up your legs and restack your spine, sitting nice and tall. So we're going to stay sitting, and you're going to bring your feet flat. Now, if you find that your toes are just off, it doesn't matter at all. So just find the position that is comfortable. So if you want to have your feet a bit nearer and they are flat, that's fine. If that's too uncomfortable for you and your thighs, then you can just have the legs bent a little bit. But keep the feet and the knees hip width apart. So we're going to have our arms straight out in front of us. So we're going to do a half roll back with rotation. So tuck that pelvis under and come back, just come back a little way to begin with. Just keep the feet really light. Now I'm going to keep my right arm in line with my right shoulder, and I'm going to rotate my left arm behind, looking at my hand as I do that, coming back to the center. So you're working from your abdominals. Now my left arm staying in line with the left knee as the right arm goes back. So at each time you do the rotation, don't come up a little bit, stay at your roll back position. So you don't have to roll back very far, or you can challenge yourself and try rolling back a touch more. But basically keeping the hips where they are. We're going to do 6 on each side. There's a total of 12. At any point you think this is too hard, come up a touch and do it from that point, but just whatever rollback position you want to be at, stay in that position. And again, on this side, I can't remember, I've lost count if that's 5 or 6. I'm going to just do one more on each side. So you should really feel all those muscles around your rib cage. And now you can roll yourself back up. Good. So I hope you managed to feel that all around at that point. So when we do that again, you can either not go back so far or go back a little bit further. So let's come to standing, ideally without using your hands. And we're going to do our roll downs, going into downward dog, and then we'll do the giraffe. So come to standing at one end of your mat. Get yourself into good standing posture before we start. So buttocks switched off, switch in the core, keep this pelvis in neutral by drawing up here and lengthening and releasing down at the back. So as you breathe in to lengthen through your spine, don't let your shoulders come up to your ears, but get your rib cage to expand. So breathe in to lengthen through your spine. And then start your roll down from the very top of your neck, all 7 vertebrae in your neck. Rolling yourself down. So we're just going to do a straight roll down on this first one. So just hang here. Make sure you've got the same weight through both your legs. You're not slightly on one leg more than the other. Let your head just hang as heavily and relaxed as you can. Arms totally relaxed. Feeling nice and grounded through your heels and lengthening your buttocks away from the heels. And focus your breath into the back of your rib cage here. So really feeling your rib cage expanding without the shoulders getting involved in any way. And now scooping in your core and coming up from the pelvis, tucking your pelvis all the way back round, so you're back in neutral when these hip bones are straight ahead, and then the rest of your spine floats up. So for the next 3, we'll go into our downward dog with our walking on the spot with our calf stretches. So breathe in to lengthen through your spine. Start your roll down from the top of your neck. So either do your whole roll down on the out breath, or if that doesn't work for you, just breathe. Just keep nice and relaxed. When we get to the bottom of the roll down, let's stay here for a full breath before we go into our downward dog. Just hanging here, trying to go a little bit further without bending the knees. Nice deep breath. And then come into your downward dog. So get into a good downward dog before you start. So reaching away from your wrists, your head between your arms, your hips up to the ceiling, right on tiptoes with both legs straight. Bend one knee as the other heel comes to the floor, and then come back to this straight leg position. And especially this first set, the focus is getting that heel to the mat. So you don't rush it, really stretch it down. If you're not very tight in your calves, you can take your hands a bit further away, not such a short downward dog, a longer downward dog, and that will challenge your calf a lot more. It's not so easy to get the heel to the mat. Don't forget to come back onto tiptoes each time. So you're stretching behind the knee, otherwise you're not going to get such a good stretch in the calf. Remember, one of the calf muscles attaches above the knee. So do about 8 of these, and then see how far you can get both your heels to the mat. Nice stretch in the back, and then with as little swaying as possible, walk your hands back to your ankles. Hold on to the back of your calf and flatten your body out towards your legs. Then let your arms hang, head hang, scoop in your core and come up from your pelvis. Pelvis all the way back into neutral. That's your only focus, and everything else just happens. Let's do 2 more like that. Breathing in to lengthen through your spine. So nice and relaxed. Let your focus follow your spine from the top to the bottom as you come into your roll down. I always think of each of my vertebrae a bit like something coming out of a waterfall. So it's not just flopping down, it's sort of coming in a slight arc, if that makes sense. And then staying at the bottom of the roll down for a deep breath. And then coming into my downward dog. So depending on how tight you are, if you're very tight, don't take your arms too far away. If you're not that tight and want a challenge, take your arms further away. And then do your walking on the spot to get your stretch in the back of the calf, really easing that heel down to the mat. So do approximately 8 of these, so you'll get 4 stretches on each side. Then back onto tiptoes and then both heels to the mat. Also just taking your head a bit further to the mat, getting a really lovely stretch in your back before you walk your hands back to your legs. Hold on to the back of your calf, or your lower leg, wherever you can comfortably reach, drawing your body down as much as you can, and then relaxing everything down as you come back up. Your focus now travelling up your spine from the base all the way to the top. Once more, breathe in to lengthen through your spine. So just go at your own pace. It doesn't matter if you're not doing it at exactly the same pace as me. And walking your hands out to whatever level you want. But get yourself into that good downward dog position. Really reach away from your wrists, the head between your arms, onto tiptoes before you start. So you're keeping your hip bones parallel to the mat. What you're not doing is rocking down to one side and then the other. You don't want to do that. You just want to bend one knee straight in and the other heel straight down. Use your core each time to help lift you back up onto tiptoes. Shoulders relaxed away from your ears. And then when you get both heels to the floor, you can get your head a little bit nearer to the mat. Stretching, stretching. Walk your hands back. So on this last one, we're going to do some extra hamstring stretches. So bend your knees so you can get more of your hand onto the mat than you could do otherwise. Then keep your hands in that new position and gently, carefully see how far you can straighten up behind the knees, making sure that both legs work together. You're not favouring one leg a little bit more than the other. Just really ease open behind the knee. We'll do about 4 or 5 of these. And then you can roll yourself up. Pelvis all the way back into neutral. Oh, good. No, I love that. Never get sick of doing that. Okay. I'll just give you all a chance to catch up. And then we're going to do the giraffe and get a bit of rotation in our spine. So if you have any spine problems, I would just minimize the rotation just to, well, hardly at all. So just get that nice stretch in your inner thighs. So come to standing with your legs as wide as you feel comfortable, toes pointing out. And then we're going to come forward with a flat back, hinging from these hip creases. So lengthen your spine away and then just hang your arms down. Let's get a nice stretch in the inside thigh here. Now remember, the legs are going to stay straight, hips stay where they are. All the movement is just from your upper body. So I'm going to walk my body over towards my right leg with my left arm coming across. And then I'm taking my right arm up to the ceiling. See if you can see your fingers up at the ceiling. Get a nice stretch in your back here. Then bring your top arm down. Walk your hands back to the center. So both legs stay straight. I'm now walking my body over the left leg with my right arm coming across. You don't have to hold down very low. If it's too strong, you just hold further up the leg. You can still get a good rotation. Nice stretch through the back. So let's do 3 each side. Again, we've done this lots of times, and there is a tutorial if you're new to this exercise. It's a really nice one. I've called it Giraffe. I don't think it has a name. And then one more on each side. So use the hand on the outside of your lower leg, especially on the subsequent ones, not necessarily on the first one, but just to increase your rotation. So the hand on the outside of the leg, you can pull on that other arm up to the ceiling, get more of a rotation. And when you've done 3 on each side, come back to the center and hang in the middle. You can take your legs a bit wider if you are comfortable with that. But just breathe and relax into this. This is such a good way of opening up the inside thighs. Remember, all those muscles are attached to the pelvis. They don't want your pelvis being pulled on, otherwise it pulls your spine out of alignment. And then when you're ready to come up, heel toe your feet back to hip width apart. If your hands can't reach the floor, then you can bend your knees to do this. And then scoop in your core and come up from the pelvis like we do out of a roll down. So we're going to come onto the mat again into 4-point kneeling, and we'll do some more strength work and back work. So come onto 4-point kneeling, come a little bit towards the one end of the mat so you've got space to take your legs out on the other. So we're going to do the tabletop first. So get yourself into good 4-point kneeling to begin with. So the hips are above the knees, the wrists are below the shoulders, but don't sink into your body. So use your whole body to lift away from those wrists, tummy in, so you've got this support from underneath. So the tabletop, we've got to pretend we've got this tray of glasses on our back, so we don't want to shift our back in any way, otherwise that tray is going to go crashing to the floor. We're going to do 3 on each side, so take a breath in. As you breathe out, pull in your core, take one leg away just before the opposite arm so you don't shift your back. So stretch your arm and your leg along the mat and then lengthen from underneath those limbs. Again, keep the hip bones parallel to the floor. Stay here for 1 breath or a couple of breaths, and then drop the leg down to the mat, keep it straight, then bend and draw the foot and the knee back under the hip without moving the back. And then do the other side. Take a breath in, breathe out, scoop in the core, don't shift your back at all, take the leg away without any movement, stretch the legs and the arm before you bring them up in line with the body, keep the hips level, be strong in your supporting arm, tummy in, and then lower the leg, keep it straight while you lower it and then draw underneath without shifting your back. So at your own pace, do 2 more each side, alternating each time. Make sure it's the core that pushes the leg away. Keep lifted out of the mat so you're not compressing into your supporting wrist. Keep it nice and steady. And then it's the core that draws that knee back under. If your knee slots back in really easily, it means you've probably shifted your weight to one side slightly. So try not to do that. Once more each side. If you've got a problem with your wrists, you can come off at any point, do a few wrist circles and then continue. I'm doing it nice and slowly so you can do it at your own pace. Got one more on the other side. When you've done your 3 each side, you can come into your rest position. So rest position, feet together, knees apart. Drop your bottom back onto your heels. Let your head rest down as near to the floor as you can manage. Your arms above your head. If you have your elbows off the mat, you get a nice stretch in your upper back and the upper arms. And breathe into your back here. So from here, we're going to do some side stretches. So keep your head between your arms and your arms parallel to each other. And keep sitting on your heels. And walk your hands. I'm going to walk my hands over to the left, my left side. And in order for my arms to stay parallel, my right arm has to travel a bit further. Keeping the head between your arms. Keep sitting on your heels. And then you find a point where you think that stretch is enough. So now I'm getting a really good stretch in the right side of my body. So focus your breath into the right side of your rib cage. Couple of breaths here, then walk your hands back to the center, and then you'll go over to your right. And in order for your arms to stay level, your left arm will have to travel a little bit further. Keep your head in the center of your arms, keep sitting on your heels. Find that point where you're happy to stay. And breathe into the left side of your body now. So again, focus on your own bodies. Notice if one side is slightly tighter than the other. If it is, you can stay there for an extra breath. And we'll do one more on each side. And make sure the arms stay level. So I'm over towards my left, so my right arm has travelled a bit further, getting a really nice stretch in the right side of my body. And then I'll go once more back to the centre and over to my right. I'm getting a good stretch on the left side of my body now, focusing my breath into the rib cage on the left. And then coming back to the centre. And now don't push off with your arms, use your core, stay sitting on your heels if your knees allow, otherwise come into high kneeling, restack your spine so that you're sitting on your heels. We're going to go back into our 4-point kneeling position. And we're going to do the plank, but with some extra leg pulses this time. So what I want you to do, actually I think you're going to do, I'll stick with what I was going to do. Here we go. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, come into your plank. Now take one leg up and just do some little pulses with this leg. So my hip bones aren't moving, I'm just doing some little pulses. We're going to do about 10. That's 7, 8, 9, 10. Then drop that leg down. If you don't want to do the pulses, you don't have to. You can just stay in your plank and take the other leg up and pulse, 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 pulse. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drop that leg and then come out of your plank. Come sit on your heels. And let's do some wrist circles. And just clench your fist, flick your fingers. So that was the hard version. So we're going to do the next one from just 4-point kneeling, not the plank. So take one leg away and lift it up. So these hip bones are going to stay parallel to the floor. And now do your pulsing straight up. The hip bone stays where it is, but you're just pulsing up. So you should feel the buttocks working a bit. And then drop that leg down, Bring that knee back under the hip. And then without moving the back, take the other leg away, stretch it along the mat, bring it up in line with the body and pulse here. So you're going just above the body, you're not going below at all, so you're working into those buttocks. And then drop the leg down, draw the knee back in and come and sit back onto your heel. So it's quite a strong exercise, so well done if you manage that. Let's do some wrist circles again, flicking the fingers and everything. Okay, so we're going to do some nice gentle stretches now. We're going to do the arm openings and the chalk circles. So this is where if you've got a light weight, you get a bit more of a stretch. So I've got the yoga block and my little head cushion, so that when I lie on my side, my neck isn't dropping down. So come to lying on your side. Get your legs in chair position. Nice long body, both at the front and at the back. This underneath shoulder not up by your ears, stretched out in front. And then drop your head and then move the cushions so that most of the cushion is behind you. So we're going to do 6 of each. Keep nice and long here. Don't start crumpling through the front of your body. So breathe in, bring this top arm up. You don't have to have the weight, and if you've got a shoulder problem, don't have a weight. And then open your body out. Keep the knees together, but this top hip can lengthen away from the knees. Keep the arm in line with the shoulder. Don't let it drop behind the shoulder. Stay here and get a nice stretch and allow the muscles to adapt. Use your core to bring your body back onto your side and then bring this arm back down. So breathing in and out. So each time we're opening out the front of our rib cage. With the giraffe, we opened out the back of our rib cage, and with this, we're opening out through the front. So again, it's rotation in the spine. Breathing in and out. Nice breath in here, just allow those muscles to relax into that position. And then the body brings the arm back and the arm comes back down. So just keep it flowing. The only time you hold it is when you've got your arm behind you and you stay there for an extra breath. And then you come back. I'm going to do 2 more on this side. Breathing in and holding it for an in-breath. On an out-breath, using my core, my body is bringing my arm back. And on the last part of that out-breath, the arm comes down once more. Each time opening my upper body out. So the hip can extend away from the knee, but the knees stay together and they stay on the mat. And then from these arm openings, go straight into chalk circles. Keeping your arm as near to the floor as your shoulder socket will allow. Over the hip, over the knee, stretch in front of your fingertips. Get that lovely stretch between the shoulder blades. Let the head just roll on the cushion. Don't lift it. Follow the ball, the weight, your moving arm as much as you can. There's the odd blind spot. If your arm is really uncomfortable being low, you can bend your elbow at this point until such point as you feel happy to straighten it again. So you can go high. If your arm and shoulder don't like being low, but keep testing it to see if you can go a tiny bit lower each time. And just keep it nice and flowing and smooth. I'm going to do 1 more. If you've done your 6 of each, you can get yourself set up on the other side and go at your own pace. So I'll go down the other end so I'm still facing you. I'll keep away from all my other props. I'd hit them. So lying down with my shins parallel to the front of my mat, this underneath shoulder away from my ear. Drop my head and then move the head cushions nice and long in the body at the front and the back. And then I'll start my arm openings. Breathe in, bring the arm up. Breathe out. And remember, it's a different size, so don't go too far on the first time. Different shoulder as well. Use the core to bring the arm back, and then the arm floats down. You then bring your arm up and open out. Hold this here and really see if you can get your rib cage to open a tiny bit more. Arm stays in line with the shoulder. If the arm is feeling uncomfortable, it could be because you've taken your arm beyond your shoulder socket. So try and keep it level. It only goes nearer to the floor because you've opened out across the front of the body, not because you've taken your arm further down. Staying here for an in-breath to get that really nice stretch across the whole of the rib, front of the rib cage, the front of the chest, the front of my shoulder. So I suggest you always do about 6 of these, but if you're doing this in your own time, then, and you're tight, then you can do a few more. But 6 is a good number to go by because you have a chance to make an improvement and open out a touch more with that. And once you've done 6 arm openings, then do 6 chalk circles. Again, listen to that different shoulder, different arm. Don't force anything. You don't need to force anything. You just do it at a comfortable level. It will just ease up on its own. Let the head just roll so you're getting that nice movement in the neck. You don't need to lift your head. Just let it roll, keeping your face soft, your jaw relaxed. I'm always amazed with this exercise. When you haven't done it for a while, you start feeling a bit tight, but it just loosens up so nicely. I'm going to do a couple more here. Last one. And then relax. So we're going to come to sitting now. So push yourself off, up to sitting. And if you want to sit on your yoga block, if you find it uncomfortable in your back just sitting straight on the mat, or you find you're tensing in your thighs, then sit on the yoga block. You can have your legs in whatever position you're comfortable. So it can either be cross-legged, or it can be a loose cross leg, or you can have your legs like that, or straight. Just find whatever position you're comfortable. These have just got to stay completely relaxed, and you also just got to be right on your sit bone. So whatever you choose for your sitting position, just wriggle around a bit so that you're sitting absolutely upright. So you're not slouched in any way, and your weight is just going directly up your spine. So we're going to finish off with some nice neck rolls. So sitting tall, hands resting on your knees, that just means your shoulders can stay relaxed. We're going to isolate just the neck, so the shoulders aren't going to move, we're just going to move the neck. So roll all the way down, all 7 vertebrae down, so your chin is going to your chest. You're not coming forward from the rest of your spine, just your neck. Just let your head hang here, just to get that gentle upper back stretch. And now look over one shoulder. See how far you can look over that shoulder. The head isn't tilting so much back as stretching up. It goes back a touch, but that's not the emphasis. The emphasis is stretching it up until you're looking over the other shoulder as far as you can go. Then the chin comes back to your breastbone. We're going to do 5 of these in each direction, keeping your face soft, your jaw relaxed. You can do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed. And you can get your eyeballs to move with your neck, so following that circle as well if you wish to keep your eye muscles strong. Make sure you don't start to slouch. You're sitting tall, use your core. Getting as much movement in the neck as you can. I'm going to do one more. Don't worry about all the crunching that's going on. That's just, I'm afraid, part of the course. So once your chin is back in the center, then reverse. See how far you can rotate your head over the other shoulder, your head stretching up more than back. Turn around the other way, and then the chin back to your breastbone. So nice, not too fast, not too slow, just flowing, relaxed movement. If you want to go slower, you can, but definitely don't go any faster than how I'm going. About as fast as you want to go. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, keeping them still, and just isolating your neck. And for me, that's number 4, so I'll do one more. And then the chin back to my breastbone, just let my head hang here, and then re-stack from the base of my neck all the way up to the top. So let's do one. If you're sitting in a cross-legged or even just a sort of partially cross-legged, just lean forward so that your elbows can come on the inside of your knees. Your hands can be on the floor or just where they could just be hanging in mid-air. Just press your hands on those inner knees. And then just try and stretch a little bit further from the lower back. So at whatever point is comfortable, just keep walking your hands, but your hips are staying where they are. You're just stretching away, letting your head just relax down here. And we'll stay here for a couple of nice deep breaths into our back here. Keep the face soft. Nice deep breath in without the shoulders coming up to the ears, and then a full breath out. And another breath out. One more nice deep breath in, as deep as you can manage it. And then walk your hands back towards your body and restack your spine. Just sit nice and tall. Well done, everyone. That was a good workout.